Here we go. All right, welcome to our monthly Community Links meeting. Really excited about our topic today. My name is Giovanna Villadores, and I'm a contracts analyst with First Five San Joaquin. I'm a member of the program team here, and we provide this Community Links meeting monthly to really kind of share information about different programs and services that are in our community. And we typically spotlight like a specific topic or program or agency. And so, again, excited about our topic, which is on father engagement today. Our goal really is to provide with this meeting not just information, but also an opportunity for you all to connect with each other to the extent possible with this type of virtual format. In a minute, we're gonna do some introductions in the chat, so we can see who's in the room. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I ask that you, of course, keep yourself on mute, but this is an informal, kind of gathering. So if you do have questions or comments, feel free to drop it in the chat. You can also unmute yourself if you would like to offer up a question or comment. We invite participation for this meeting. Also, it is always wonderful to see faces. I know it's Friday morning, and it's easy to just kind of, be the black box on the screen, but it's always great to see who's in the room visually to connect with people. And it's also wonderful for our presenters to be able to have faces that they're speaking to. So I invite you, if you are in a position to do so, to show yourself, to turn your cameras on today. All right. So if you could take a moment and please in the chat introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, your name, your agency or program that you're representing today. And if you could also just throw out, let's have a moment of, I'm always for a gratitude moment. So if we're entering Thanksgiving season, right? We're getting our bellies and our hearts ready for this next season. So what are you grateful for? I'd love to hear that as well. So let us know your name, your agency or program you're representing, or both. And what's something that you're grateful for this morning, this beautiful autumn morning? I'm gonna have to, let's see. Good morning, lots of good mornings. Grateful for family and friends, absolutely. Same. Good morning, Alicia. Blessings. Thank God for blessings. Grateful for family and health. Absolutely. Grandsons, grandbabies. The best, right? For family. Lots of gratitude toward family and loved ones and good health. Okay. Keep those introductions coming. Again, we'd love to see who's in the room. I'm going to move on for just a moment. I want to take a quick poll just to kind of introduce us to today's topic. We are again, our focus today is on father engagement. And so I have just a few questions. There are three questions total in this kind of poll or survey, just to kind of see where we're all at with our thoughts toward father engagement, experiences with father engagement, our knowledge base with father engagement. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll, and if you could take a moment and respond. So again, there are three questions, kind of survey style. So I'm going to launch it now. And you should see it and be able to engage with it now. Once I get a sense that most of us have responded, then I will close it. Are you guys seeing the poll? Okay, I see responses coming in, so yes. Okay. Lots of responses coming in. Thank you. Again, if you're just now joining, we have a poll that has been launched. It's just a quick survey, a few questions about father engagement. So if you could please take a moment and respond to the poll, that would be wonderful. And then I'll share results in just a second. Oh, Stephanie, bless you for being brave and turning on your camera this morning. It's good to see you. Okay. All right. So we've got a lot of responses in. We're about at 80%. So I'm going to give it just another minute because I see more responses coming in. So I don't want to cut anybody off. Okay, it looks like it's slowing down. So I'm gonna end the poll now. Mm, Okay, now I'll end it. Okay, and I'm gonna share the results just so we can all kind of see. Can you guys see the results of the poll? Yes? Okay. So the first question was, what barriers do you think prevent fathers from being more engaged with support services? And the ask was for you to select the top three. And so we see here work commitment schedule came out number one. Then a close second is the lack of awareness of available services. And then third was, or I'm sorry, skipping over the third one. The third was perception that the service or resource is not for them, which is interesting. And then behind that, we have cultural and language barriers. And then last, we have the racism and gender bias experiences with the staff and the system. Okay, interesting. All right, the second question, how would you rate your own preparedness or capacity to recruit and effectively serve fathers? So three is just kind of right, middle of the road, and that's where most of us fell, and that's at 52%, a little bit over half. Then right after that is four, which is would be kind of pretty prepared. And then coming in third at 11%, it looks like it's very prepared. So five being very prepared. Okay, it looks like we're all in the right space this morning. Yeah. Looking forward to presentations that will help us be more prepared today. All right. And then third, we have what supports would best help you or your program better serve families and offer more father-focused programming. And you were to select the top three. And so let's see what rose to the top. So training, we have a tie. So training on effective father engagement strategies was one. And then training to better understand barriers and personal biases was also came in um, at uh, at ranked first. So tied at 53%, a little bit over half of you saying those two. And then behind that, a really close second, we have flexibility with when and how services are offered to make them more accessible to fathers, which is consistent with that first responses to that first question. Oh, I'm sorry, we have another tie for second. And then also at 47%, we have support with developing program agency guidelines or policies that promote father engagement practices. So that is very helpful to know. And then we have some additional responses there. Coming in last or third would be the self-assessment to assess programs' readiness to support fathers. I'm going to stop sharing. So thank you for that. We First Five is looking to do more intentional work around father engagement. So this is helpful information for us. We appreciate the responses. I think it's also good to see where we're all at as we move into this topic for the day. Okay. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our uh, presenter today. And I want to do just a quick check-in. I don't believe that our second presenter, Jesse Brown, is able to be on, but I want to take a moment and just do a really quick check to make sure. I know he um, had something come up for him, and I don't think he was able to be a part today, and it looks like he's not on. Okay, so I'll just confirm that today Gus is gonna carry us through this topic. Thank you, Gus. I've had the privilege of working with Gus and partnering with him on different projects. He was just a great addition to our father engagement panel. at our home visiting summit. So some of you will remember him sharing there. Also, it's a privilege to serve alongside him on the Dear Dads Coalition, which we'll be spotlighting a little bit later. And he's doing some wonderful work around father engagement with the agency that he's a part of, which is Parents by Choice. He's a director of prevention services there. And so Gus is going to do some sharing today, and we will have a little bit extra time on our agenda. And so hopefully that will give space to some rich discussion and questions that you all may have around father engagement. All right, Gus, take it away. I'm going to stop sharing.
All right. Well, good morning to everyone. Happy beginning of Christmas season, November 1st. Well, at least that's the way we do it here at home, right? November 1st is when we set up the Christmas tree and start playing the Christmas music, and it'll take us through, I think, February 1st. We do it 2 months here at my house. And so, anyway, good morning to everyone. Hope you guys are well. It's good to see some of you showing your smiley faces, specifically Gustavo Escobar. I love that name. Such a wonderful name. I go by Gus for short, but my full name is Gustavo as well. And so want to give a shout out to Gustavo that is here with us as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all so we can get started. Just give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear and see that. That would be super helpful. All right. And so we will miss Mr. Jesse Brown. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us this morning. However, I also want to give thanks to First Five and providing us this opportunity to share with you all a little bit about what we're doing in regards to addressing some needs. Um, with fathers in our community. And so through this community links, it gives us an opportunity to really share that with you all. If we haven't had the chance to meet you, well, it's good to meet you for the first time. If we've met you before, so good to see you again. But I thank you, Giovanna Valdores, for again the opportunity to share. And so you'll see in front of you now on your screen, Fathers Matter is something that we kicked off as an organization about 6 months ago. It is a program of Parents by Choice, and some of you might be familiar with Parents by Choice. We've been around for a little over 18 years in the San Joaquin County area. Our agency began as a foster care agency, and throughout the year, it's grown into so many different types of services that we offer our community. The department that I'm in charge of, I oversee, is our prevention department. And Fathers Matter is one of the programs that I oversee, and that we're actually part of the launch of this program back in June. And so, really proud of it. Really glad that we have some solid staff that are helping us get this off the ground. And so, kind of wanted to kick off a little bit in regards to what our mission is with Fathers Matter. And our mission is simply this: to promote and provide healing, strength, and hope to fathers. Simply that, to promote and provide healing, strength, and hope to fathers. And I know those are some strong words there, and I'm going to highlight a little bit as to what we mean by healing, what we mean by strength, and what we mean by hope. Hopefully, this will help define these words for us. And so, healing, it can mean a lot of things, but for us, it really occurs in a supportive community where individuals can openly discuss important issues in a safe, non-judgmental environment. The second word, strength, it arises from the bonds of brotherhood and a growth mindset. And thirdly, hope. It arises for fathers when they realize they are not alone in their experiences and challenges. And this really has been the driving point for our program from the very beginning. We were tailoring our mission statement over the last couple of months, and we wanted to keep it simple and straightforward. so that it makes sense. And in reality, this is what we are doing. We are doing our very best to promote this healing in our gatherings, in the conversations we're having, the workshops that I'm going to be getting into here really quick. And I'll get into more of the details as to how this comes becomes life in the program that we have. And so why do we do this? Well, simply this: fathers really do matter. Fathers really do matter. I was in a conversation just recently with one of our fathers that attends our program, and he was explaining the various challenges that he's had over the last several months in regards to dealing with a specific system in our county, on how he has been treated less than favorable. He's been devalued. He hasn't really had the access that he has both deserves and needed to be a part of his children's life. A lot of various obstacles that were placed in his path so that he can actually have a fulfilling fatherhood experience. And he came down and said these words after explaining his time and in his experience. He said this. He's like, I came to realize that at the end of the day, fathers really do not matter. Fathers really do not matter. And that struck me pretty hard. That hit me pretty hard, right, right in my nose. And I felt like we had to do something about this. We had to make sure that fathers really understand that there is other fathers, other men out there that are really looking for their betterment, really looking out for their healing, looking out for them to receive the strength that they need, and ultimately the hope so that they can continue moving forward. And this is what led me to this thought, is that fathers really do matter. And I want to tell you why they matter. And there's a couple of surveys that were done through the National Fatherhood Initiative. And it says this, that children with involved fathers have a strong foundation for child well-being. Children are at lower risk for a host of poor childhood outcomes. And you'll see the list here, and I'm just going to quickly go through these things here. We've seen that there's a lower risk of infant mortality, low birth weight, emotional and behavioral problems, neglect and abuse, injury, obesity, poor school performance, teen pregnancy, incarceration as juveniles, alcohol and substance abuse, criminal activity, and even suicide has also been something that has lowered in risk when there is involved fathers in their children's lives. And again, this is why fathers matter. This is the reason why their fathers matter. The second point here is also a study that was conducted by the National Fatherhood Initiative. It says this, and this one is really important to me. This really dear to my heart, is that why involved dads are good for dads. And so when men become dads and are involved in their children's lives, they perform in many different ways. In this case, dads, and I can attest to this day in and day out, dads are happier when they're involved in their children's lives. I love coming home, especially when it's been a day and a half. I felt like I've worked 16 hours when I really worked 8, right? And I come home and I'm just worn out. And I walk in through the door, and my 3-year-old son is just waiting for me. He's waiting for me. He wants to play. He starts running around, and we start wrestling, and everything that I had as far as stress in my life for that day just went out the door, went out the window, because my son needed my attention. His attention caused me to have this extreme joy, right? And that happens on a daily, right? And so that right there, fathers are happier. Yes, I agree with that 100%, that when dads are involved with their children, I'm even looking forward to spending more time with my son, because I feel like I push myself to live longer. I start making different decisions because I want to be around for my son a lot longer. There, the moments where the stress can become eventually depression, that subsides quite a bit when we're involved with our children. And as a matter of fact, going through this fatherhood experience myself has caused me to also look into situations, look into and resource myself, get myself a little more acquainted in regards to parenting and child development and things of that nature. And although that's part of our work that we do, there's an opportunity for application to happen. And when that application happens, that really increases my amount of self-esteem as being a father and how I actually promote that here at home. And so I can only imagine when other fathers are also involved, how much more they need that kind of resource, they need that kind of education so that they can continue to increase their self-esteem and confidence. And when fathers are involved with their children, they are more active in their community, and are more involved in civic groups, right? And so this includes schooling, it includes PTA meetings, it includes so many different things that children might be involved in. And when fathers are involved with their children, they're a part of those situations as well. And this one's really good that fathers are moved to adopting a healthier model of masculinity. So when men become dads and are involved in their children's life, they transform in these several ways. Again, they adopt a healthier model of masculinity. The reduction of alcohol and substance abuse does decrease. They're driven to find more stable and more secure jobs. They have to, and we're also actually forced to better manage our money and save money for the future. And it definitely strengthens our family ties. And so all these components here in this area here is what we're trying to do through our Fathers Matter program is really promote the health, the healing, so that fathers have a more healthier perspective as to both their fatherhood as well as their masculinity. And we've seen it time and time again where they open up and really talk about how much they've changed when they've started working towards maybe sobriety or maybe start disciplining themselves in how they actually spend their money and their time. And so, again, this is one of the reasons why we believe that fathers matter, because if fathers matter to us, they're gonna they're gonna matter to their children. Children are gonna be at a better place when fathers are involved with them. Fathers are going to benefit from that by all these various things that we just went through. And so, again, fathers do matter. Now, there's a few things that I like to kind of just bring to your attention that might help you, that has helped us in cases where you might be looking to maybe expand your services a little bit in regards to father engagement. Or if you are looking to start something brand new for your agency, for your programs. And so there's a few tips here that I've listed, and I'm sure that these will be shared with you sometime soon. At least my slides will. That'll be available for you. And so the first thing that I like to kind of just bring to your attention is how really a question is how father friendly is your agency slash environment slash service? I know that's loaded, right? So how friendly is your agency to father friendly programming, but also welcoming fathers into your space? What does that look like, right? Um, and there's a few assessments that are available that maybe I can share a couple of links to if that's something that you'd like to do. But it'll really help you hone in as to what that maybe might look like for you. How father friendly is your environment? You know, is there enough pictures of both moms and dads on your walls? Are there things that are both inviting the attention of both moms and dads? Um, Customer service, the way dads are treated when they walk in through our doors. Are they being treated the same as we do maybe other customers or other clients? And mind you, sometimes fathers might look a little bit more intense, a little more maybe um, uh, I'm going to say the word mean, but at the end of the day, we're having to provide a customer service to them so that they can feel welcome as well. And so, how father friendly are our environments so that fathers feel welcome, right? That's one of the tips that we can maybe expand on just a little bit at a later moment. Also, we also believe that it's important for us to staff our programs with men as facilitators and ask them to invite dads they know. And that's one of the approaches that we've taken. I was able to hire a male facilitator that has had some impact as to how many people he's brought, how many fathers he's been able to bring into the program. And through his both his experience and lived experience, he's been able to connect fathers in a way that I haven't been able to connect with them. But at the same time, we wanted to provide an environment where fathers weren't necessarily felt disconnected due to maybe a female facilitator, but also providing them that opportunity to connect with some more male facilitators through our program. So that's something, again, that can be explored. And I know that's not always an easy thing to do. Maybe there's some challenges, maybe just the lack of workforce for men being available for this type of work might be small. But again, that could be something that we can work towards as a community. If we're having any kind of programming for fathers, do your very best to serve food at your program sessions and provide childcare if it's possible. We want to promote these offers in your promotional materials and messages. And so every time we do flyers or something along those lines or reminders, we're promoting that there's going to be free food, that there's going to be, X, Y, or Z type of resource that's going to be available to them. The next point is encourage dads to bring a friend or a neighbor, right? Ask newly enrolled dads to bring a friend and consider offering an incentive when they do. Um, that's key, right? One of the things that we're doing this weekend tomorrow on the 2nd of November is we're having a workshop, and I pulled a couple of fathers in, and I pretty much gave them an incentive that if they were to bring in 5 fathers, then they would receive a prize. If they were to bring 10 fathers, they would receive a prize. And so I was able to help them help us to get more fathers in the door so that there could be part of a workshop that we're having tomorrow, which I'm going to get into here shortly. Next point is draw dads in with assistance or referrals for issues important to specific groups of dads, such as legal assistance for those with custody or child support issues and who need help locating housing or work. And this is the point where we've been able to include this as part of our program designed to provide coaching and case management to fathers. And so, fathers with those types of needs, we were able to create an opportunity for them to receive both that individual attention so that we can help them work through some of these issues and some of the things that they might be challenged with. And so, that's another good point, another good tip and best practice. The next one is gain access to dads by going to where they often visit or work. All right. That could be anywhere between barbershops, sports arenas, community centers, so forth and so on, parks, basketball courts, sporting goods stores, promoting the program to dads at areas and offices and workplaces where they're at will probably be a really good idea and a good best practice. Good practice. Get community partners such as Head Start, Early Head Start, First Five, government social service agencies, faith groups, schools, to refer the dads they serve to your program. I mean, drop off promotional materials, and send email reminders to staff to refer. And this last one that I'll mention here, this last tip and best practice is write a plan to recruit dads into your program. So if this is something that is of interest for you and your agency, then this would be an opportunity for you to gather with your team and start working on a plan to recruit dads, right? Evaluate the results, do more of what's working, stop what's not working, and try new tactics. And over the last 6 months, we've had to do that. We've had to evaluate the results of what we are doing, and we kept what's working, and we had to pull back on the things that may not be working as well. right? When we come in with big vision to launch a program like this, there's a lot of components within our vision that really didn't make it to the actual program design, and that's okay, right? And even while we're promoting the logistical aspects of really moving this program forward and causing it to grow, there are things that we might have to change a little bit along the way. And so there has to be a place where we're able to evaluate some of those results and see what's working, what's not working, and then start making the pivots that you need in order for you to continue to reach the fathers that you're set out to reach. And so again, those are just some of the tips and best practices that we can open up for discussion if time permits, and we can always come back to that if that's okay. I like this quote because I think this is where a lot of fathers are at. Fathering is not something perfect men do, but something that perfects the man. I'm telling you, this just spoke to me pretty loud, right? Fathering is not something perfect men do, but something that perfects the man. And that goes back to some of the research, right? On how men are driven to become better when they're involved with their children. And this is a lifelong journey, right? For us to continue to be a good man, to provide for our families and for our children, and along the way, little things that we do to better ourselves as men and fathers, it starts perfecting us as men. We'll never reach the full perfection, but we're striving for that. So here we are. I'm going to kind of give you just a description as to what we do in regards to our program. We've made some changes along the way, like I mentioned just a little while ago. But here is our flyer. And if you don't have this flyer, it will be emailed to you. But this pretty much breaks down the components that we offer through our program. Currently, we're only able to offer our services in English, but we're hoping that soon we'll be able to provide some of the components in Spanish as well. Just for the sake of view, I'm going to go ahead and move to the next slide, which is a little bit larger so that you can see a little bit better. So what we offer, when do we offer it? So we offer workshops. Currently, they're at a bi-monthly timeline. And so workshops are designed to improve fathers' quality of life and fatherhood responsibilities. And as a matter of fact, we're having a workshop happening tomorrow called Intentional Fathers. It's going to be happening from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I believe a flyer will be showed here in a second. But that's one of the things that we're doing is we're really trying to create a space for fathers to grow, right? For their some personal growth to happen, as well as for a community to gather together on a Saturday morning around coffee, around donuts, around some breakfast burritos, and all that wonderful stuff. Yes, it's only for fathers, so sorry if that doesn't fit. But yeah, that's what's happening tomorrow. And the next thing that we're having on a weekly basis is our discussion groups, process groups, discussion group, support group, however you want to see it. This is our way of connecting with our dads on a weekly basis. And this happens um, Thursdays, Thursday evenings from 6 p.m. to about 7:30. Last night, our group was very chatty, so we went to 7:45, almost 8 o'clock last night, and it was really deep, really intense. And this really gives an opportunity for dads to both learn and discuss a variety of topics that are important to them. It is structured in a way where we do talk about various things that's important, that's top of mind for them. And then they'll always walk away with some kind of tip or strategy that they can apply for the following 7 days. And it's really a place for them to talk about their challenges, their struggles, their fears, their insecurities, and even wins, right? So when they have a win, we all celebrate together. When they're going through struggles, we're going to be there, support each other. And it really has become an opportunity for us to build brotherhood, right? This is where we see both the mended and the wounded come together. Um, and we support each other. And so this has been a huge component to what we're doing, and we've seen such a great success with fathers returning, but also um, stating a few things like, "Wow, we didn't know that this was around. We've been needing something like this for a long time." And that just kind of proves to show that we're on the right track and really doing our best to provide a service for them, creating the space, and then creating also the opportunity through our agency to these fathers to be a part of. The next thing that we provide is our parenting classes. This is pretty much our staple of what we do through our parenting programs. Is we have 5 different parenting courses that we offer. And so we encourage fathers when they're ready to start moving towards building the capacity in their parenting to take one or all 5 of our programs that we have available. And these courses consist of parenting children between 0 to 12, parenting teenagers. Pathways is our emotional regulation course for parents. And it's a really good course. It has to do with, catching negative thoughts, challenging negative thoughts, changing negative thoughts, how to regulate emotions while parenting, things of that nature. And then some parents are going through a co-parenting situation where there's been either a separation or divorce. We offer a class for that. And then there's parents that might have children that have mild to moderate disabilities, behavioral disabilities, or behavioral problems. And our Stepping Stones course really provides additional strategies to help parents through that. We actually have a partnership with VMRC to provide stepping stones on site with them. And so that's been a really unique experience. The other component that's built into our Fathers Matter program is, again, the individual coaching and case management. So it's really made for dads who need individual coaching, um, who may be having difficult moments, who may need some life goals, planning around some life goals, and also improving their fathering skills. In addition to what we mentioned earlier, sometimes some of our fathers may be going through a court situation or they need resources to help them better their situation, both with housing, with work, or other things that might be a challenge to them. And so we really want to create more of an individual approach for our fathers so that they can feel both supported, but also working towards some wins in their life. And everything's integrated within the last component where dads lead. And so personally, that's one of my core things that I believe every father needs to recognize that they're a leader, right? And so everything that we do, our conversations that we have during our discussion groups, our workshops, even our parenting courses, there's elements of leadership, of helping fathers increase both their leadership at home and in the workplace. And what we're doing with this part is we're offering a Zoom session like this one once a month. We're calling it a Lunch and Learn Fridays. And we're inviting fathers who are just wanting to sit in for 30 to 45 minutes and just get some tips in regards to leadership that they can turn around and start utilizing that both at work and at home. And so you'll notice in our flyer, we have both a phone number, email address, location, and a QR code. And so this is the best way for any father that might be interested to sign up. They can either call us, they can text me, that's my number there, email us, or they can sign up through our registration form and following the QR code. And so who is this for? Well, again, we have fathers in mind, right? So fathers and even men looking to grow, develop, and better themselves, right? This is really exclusive to them. And this means biological fathers, non biological fathers, future fathers, foster, resource fathers, grandfathers, anybody within that experience. And referrals are not required, only a registration. And so again, how do they get registered? They can again follow the QR code, give us a phone call or email us, and we'll be happy to provide them with the next steps. We want to get them through our intake process, right? And this is where we do some early assessment as to where they're at, what they want to work towards. and we start working from there. And how much does it cost? Well, thanks to our partners, we are able to offer these services at no cost to fathers. And so we're really happy about that. That has really created an opportunity for us to even reach even more fathers without having that cost over their head. And so, yeah, I don't know how much time I have left, but I kind of want to also open it up to any questions here shortly. But before I do, here's the workshop flyer that I forgot to show a little bit earlier. And so this is, again, the flyer that we're promoting our workshop happening tomorrow. I know it's a quick turnaround time for some of you to get the word out for us, but if there might be somebody that would like to show up, then please feel free to pass this information along. And so, again, the Intentional Fathers Workshop is happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at our Courthouse Plaza, downtown Stockton. Um, there's going to be some parking challenges because I did not know that there is street closures happening downtown tomorrow due to some event, the other Los Muertos event, and so but we're going to get through it regardless. Um, Also, just want to mention that Fathers Matter is part of the Dear Dads Coalition. And so this is something that Joanna mentioned earlier. We are part of the Dear Dads Coalition and we're working together. Actually, Dear Dads has inspired me quite a bit to do this kind of work and also define it a little bit better so that it can benefit fathers across our county and abroad as well. And so, Dear Dads is a powerful organization not organization. Apologize for that. Dear Dads is a great space to be a part of to hear both strategies as well as supports that are being offered to agencies, training that will be coming down the pike here pretty soon. And so, yeah, if you want to get a little more information in regards to Dear Dads, you can either see myself or Giovanna should be able to provide that information to you. And again, I know I've said a lot over the last several minutes, and I kind of want to open it up to any questions that anybody might have.
Thank you, Gus. I actually have a question just to kind of get us warmed up, and I would love for others that are on the call either to share your experiences or any questions that you have while we have Gus here with us and the expertise that he brings. But one question is related to like getting started. So let's say, we have an agency or, program staff on, and, there's interest in providing more father inclusive services. How would that program or staff kind of baby step their way into that? Like, what are some small changes that they could do even starting today, moving forward to have more father inclusive programming?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I'll give you my experience. At the very beginning, when we were doing a lot of the vision casting and the brainstorming for this program, there's a lot of various things that I thought would benefit fathers, right? And through several conversations with my teams, I came to the realization that I'm choosing the path for other fathers. And so instead, we created a focus group. And that focus group, we brought them in, we talked about them, not talk about them, talk with them in regards to services that would benefit them, as opposed to what I thought would benefit them. And that was a pivotal moment for our team because it allowed us to see a little bit things a little bit different. What we thought what resources or even the programming itself would benefit. It turned out that there was other focuses that fathers were interested in, and so that kind of started steering us towards what we have today, right? And so I would say this that even before we start putting money into it or start making policies and procedures is talk to fathers, create an opportunity for fathers to bring their ideas and fathers in the community, and it can be from any background, any the scope of service should be defined by what's needed out there. And I think that's one of the things that I learned early on is get their opinion, right? Get to know what they need before I start um, mapping things out for the program design. And I think that has been something that I would recommend anyone else to do, especially if they're about to start or they're thinking about starting, is get to hear the father's expressions, their desires, and what their needs are first before um, you start doing the work and you realize that nobody's really coming, and that's kind of like the demoralizing part, right? When nobody starts showing up or nobody's really interested. And so we really wanted to avoid that and just really hear what fathers have to say and what they would like. And then
Yeah.
secondly, again, partnerships with other organizations that provide similar work has been very pivotal for us. Mary Magdalene has been one that early on we were discussing. We were talking about what they do because we also did not want to compete with other organizations of what they were doing for father programming. We wanted to collaborate but not compete, if that makes any sense. And so I wanted to make sure that we created an opportunity that if fathers could better benefit from services being provided elsewhere, that we would be able to refer them to that particular agency, and vice versa, right? And so I think the more the merrier. I think that's kind of been the vision for us is we really here to collaborate and not compete. I hope that
Wonderful.
makes sense, and I hope that kind of answers the question, Giovanna.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. That was very helpful. Luz, I see your hand up. Go for it.
Yes. First of all, I want to say thank you for this agency. Uh, Fathers do matter, and sometimes they do feel left out. I do have a family that I just enrolled, and it was sent. I'm not sure from one of the agencies, but they're homeless and they're very young, and they're pregnant. It's going to be their first time being a mother and a father, and just by that one time enrollment, he just expressed him to me that he wants to be the best father. But right now he's in a hard situation, but he's not giving up. So I'm trying to find all the resources I can, and this is going to help a lot. I'm going to pass this along. And he did mention whatever I can do, whatever you guys can help me. I know I'm homeless, but I will try and do whatever I need with agencies like you, like Concilio, that can help me. And I did tell him we will find other places that if we can't help you in one way, we have other agencies, partners that will help you. And he's it seemed like he wanted to give up at the beginning, he said, but he said, no, I'm a father. I'm going to be a father and I'm going to try. And when he came in here, he left with a different um, feelings like I'm going to do my best to be a good father, even though I'm homeless. So I believe your agency is going to help him a lot, letting him know that fathers do matter. So I will be sending that person to you.
Yeah, thank you, Luz, and I appreciate you saying that because fathers do matter. Additionally, there are some new resources that are coming down to Parents by Choice that might benefit this particular individual and family. So yeah, absolutely, send them our way. We'll do our very best to both remind him, right, that he matters, and also to provide them the resources that we can maybe connect them with as well. And we do have a wraparound program. And so that's not connected to the Fathers Matter program, but also the concept of wraparound is also something that we have in mind in the future for fathers as well. And so in some senses, some of our case management involves some of the wraparound component, but not officially.
Thank you, Luz, and thank you, guys. Are there other questions for Gus before we end? So I see a question in the chat from Sotia. We are interested to collaborate. Is it possible to have a meeting with your team next week?
Absolutely, reach out to me. I'll be happy to collaborate with you and see how we can maybe work together.
Did you provide your did you have a slide with your contact information?
No, actually, that's
Okay. I can, it's okay. I can send it out. I have it.
right.
Yeah, so I'll send it out in the follow-up for this meeting, and that's to others that may want to partner with Gus or have more conversations on this topic. I'm making you, I'm putting you out there, Gus.
Well, that's great.
He's a great
That's really
partner.
helpful.
So yeah, thank
And
you.
I'm kind of curious too, and this is a question for you all, is how many of you are actually providing father focused programming, work programs, workshops, or anything like that, that's specifically for fathers? If you are, just drop it in the chat or let me know. I'm kind of curious what's out there as well.
There are a
There's
couple of
Robert.
raised hands. Yeah. Hey,
Robert.
Robert.
Cool. Yeah, because we're looking to collaborate again, not compete, but collaborate with each other so that if I know that there's other specific programs out there for father specific, I do want to know so that also can refer to you in case we do come across a situation where there would be a better fit with your organization, your agency. And so I'll actually type my email address here so you can send me flyers or any information. Oops, I
If
meant
you
to
could also include, yeah, oh yeah, there's, um,
fix
I
that.
think we might need a, yes, thank you. Um, if it, thank you for that question, Gus. So if you, for those that raised your hands, if you do have programs that are specifically for dads, we have a resource directory that we're trying to keep updated that has information on services for dads, and we would love to make sure that it's included. And just to what we can send that out, I can send that out in my follow up so that we can raise awareness about what's available out there. So thank you, Gus, for that question. And I think I saw maybe someone else. Liz, did you have a question? I saw you unmute it yourself.
Thank you, Giovanna.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, first off, a comment. Thank you, Gus, for sharing the wonderful services that you have, wonderful information, and thank you for all that you and your Parents by Choice, your program does for our fathers, because fathers do really matter. And then also, question: do you have the sessions, are they mainly done in English? Do you have them in other languages?
For our assessments for our Fathers Matter program, they're mainly in English. However, for our parenting classes, we do other similar assessments, and we have access to more languages, including English, Spanish, and some other languages as well that we're able to maybe access in case of that's needed.
Thank you, Liz. Any other questions for Gus before we wrap up? Okay. Well, I think a big virtual applause for you, Gus, and your presentation today. We are grateful. I know we were having moments of gratitude, so we have a moment of gratitude for you and the work that you're doing to engage fathers and support fathers in our county. And oh, I'm sorry, Robert, did you have your hand up or is it still up from another response? I think maybe it's up from a previous response. I just didn't want to miss anyone. So thank you guys for your time today, for sharing your expertise and the resources. I'll be sure to share out the slide deck and the information that was shared today in an email. So look out for that. And then just a reminder, if you have any of your own father focused or father inclusive programming that you want to share out, then please send to me. Also send to Gus, but I'll send it in a follow-up email. Okay. So, oh, is this slide showing up for you guys, or is it kind of look like a partial? I think something happened to my I'm gonna try again. Uh, can you see the slide now? Are you seeing? Okay, I'm going to share it like this. For some reason, when I went to slideshow view, it like was only showing bits and pieces of it. But I just wanted to do another kind of to reinforce what Gus said earlier about the Dear Dads Coalition. So there is a newer, say new, it's been around for maybe a couple years, but it's really getting some traction now, and it is officially now called the Dear Dads Coalition, and it's something that was birthed out of a Human Services Agency and the Child Welfare Department here. But the goal really is to engage partners throughout the county to really promote the importance of fatherhood and father engagement and to support the work of engaging fathers, and to also work to get fathers engaged with the services that are there to support them. So I know that's like a big, kind of general purpose statement, but some of the specific things that the coalition is engaged in, there's monthly coalition meetings that happen, which is an opportunity for you to connect with other partners in the community that are also, it doesn't mean that you have father, programs just for dads necessarily, but that you're interested, that you want as an agency to grow your capacity, and ability to engage fathers. And so we have the meetings are held monthly currently they're being held at Parents by Choice, which is Gus's offices here in the downtown area. But if you're interested in the schedule and how to get connected, please just email me or Gus, and we'd be happy to do that. This coalition also puts on the annual Father Fest. And so I know you've heard about that, and hopefully your agency maybe has had the opportunity to participate, but has come out of the Dear Dads Coalition. And so that's a great event to get behind. It's also the purpose of it is to do some local agency capacity building. And so Gus had a quick kind of reference to this, but in the survey that we did at the top of the meeting, there were some questions about just interest in growing your own agency's capacity for providing more father focused or father inclusive programming. The coalition is working on some capacity building strategies, so training and having policies that your agency can adopt and that sort of thing, having self-assessments that your agency can complete to kind of figure out where your starting point is. And so that's coming soon. And then there's also that resource toolkit that I mentioned that is available. You can download it from the First Five website. I'm sure you could probably do a quick Google search for it, and it should come up as well. But we're looking to update it. We do an annual refresh of that toolkit, and so we're looking to do a refresh of it. So if you have resources to provide, then please submit them so we can get them incorporated. But this is just kind of a quick view of what the coalition is engaged in, but the purpose of bringing it up today is to invite you to be a part of the coalition. So again, there are monthly meetings, a great engagement and connection point for agencies in our community that are interested in making sure that dads and fathers are valued here in San Joaquin County. So there's that quick commercial break. So I want to pivot real quick to give you all the opportunity to share any updates? Oh, that's what was happening. It was animated. And there we are. Okay. To give the opportunity to share about anything that's going on in your neck of the woods, any upcoming events, any newly launched or expanded programs or services, or any resources you want to spotlight. So I will stop talking so that you can share. Just unmute yourself. Feel free to share. Thing going on? Are we all just bracing for the holiday season that is upon us? Or are getting past all the events that have happened? I know we're kind of getting out of the outreach event season. So, all right. So all
I'll go,
good.
Giovanna.
Okay. Yay. Thank you, Mary.
So,
Go for it.
nothing new, but Mary Welfel from Read to Me Stockton, and want to thank everybody for your help and support and outreach. We are kind of at sort of keeping at 10,800 kids in Stockton receiving books, which is a lot of kids. But it seems like we sign up 300 kids each month and then 300 kids graduate. So we're asking for your help to help spread the word. Because we know there are 22,000 about kids under 5, so we're almost at half, but how do we get the other half? We do have a whole bunch of our bookmarks. If you're doing a Thanksgiving or Christmas like gift bag or turkey giveaway or something and would have a way to include these in the distribution, if you want to contact me, I can drop them off. But the other thing that we realized, we did an outreach event at Spanish School last week, a trunk or treat. And in 2 hours, we signed up 35 families. And I think what's happening is we're putting too much, even though I just did a plug about our bookmarks that have the QR code, for families who are non-English speaking, even though the website is in Spanish, but perhaps are not as high tech or don't have the literacy skills, it's kind of hard. So if you are in a position at your agency to get on the computer and do the registration for them yourself, that would be great. Or we do have paper registration forms. All you have to do is take a picture with your phone and email it to me, text it to me, or you can, if you're doing a whole bunch of them, scan them and send them over. We're still doing paper registration. So if that would work better for the communities that you serve, yeah, go for it. So, but thanks again for all of your help. We really appreciate it. Oh, I do have another question. Maybe somebody on this call can help. There is a service as part of the Imagination Library for blind children, and that's one thing we haven't done is reached out to organizations that are serving blind children. They get Braille books. So if anybody knows who I should talk with, if you could send me that information, that would be great. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Mary. Just when you think everyone knows about Reach Me Stockton, you think that the message is kind of saturated the community. I had a conversation with the director of my daughter's childcare center, and she hadn't heard of the program and they hadn't promoted it to parents. And so I brought a stack of flyers and they shared the flyers with the parents. And so you never know, there's, always opportunities to get the word out about this great resource that we have in our community. All right, other announcements, resources to spotlight?
I do, Giovanna.
Okay, go for it, Liz.
Here, Consider would be having a food drive and vaccination clinic, free COVID and flu vaccines available on the 8th, November 8th, from 8 to 10 a.m. here at 302 East Fremont Street in Stockton, 95202. If anybody has families that need to do the COVID or the flu, send them over, and also will be the drive, the food drive.
Perfect. Thank you, Liz. Do you have a flyer for that?
Yes, I do.
Can you share that with me?
Yes.
And I'll send it in the follow-up email. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? I don't want to miss anyone. Okay, I'm gonna move on. All right, so just a few reminders. If you have ideas for topics or things that you think would be great for this Community Links meeting to spotlight, we are open. Please let me know if you have topics or speakers or anything in mind moving forward, especially looking at the second half, the next half of this fiscal year. Please send them to me. Be happy to receive those ideas. If you have a new team member that has joined your agency or program and you want to make sure that they get these meeting invites, or if you want to make sure they're added to our e-news distribution list, then just send me their email and I'll make sure they get added. And our next meeting is on December 6th. So this is a meeting that happens on the first Friday of every month. Our topic is still being worked out, and so we'll be sharing that flyer as soon as we have that developed. Okay. All right, everyone. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Great seeing you all. Thank you so much, Gus. Again, look out for the follow-up email. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good
Thank you.
weekend.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.